Eli the Halo guy.
Eli the Halo guy.
Tips, tricks, tips, tricks, tips, tricks. Eli the Halo guy.
Opponent has now respawned. He's gonna spawn his teammates there. Probably elbow here in a sec. Bottom
But
tower
it's
spawn.
spawn.
I stuck one. Oh my god.
Eli the Halo guy.
Under.
RPCs.
Dead.
Eli the Halo guy.
Tips, tricks, tips, tricks, tips, tricks. Eli the Halo guy.
What's up, YouTube? Eli the Ninja here. This is going to be a analysis video from last weekend's tournament. This was an insane game of Strongholds on Live Fire between SSG and Optic. I've pulled it up in theater mode because I want the free ability to navigate around the map. I want to study how each player is coming off of spawn. I want to analyze the behaviors of both teams because these are two of the most organized and efficient teams that we have in Halo Infinite right now. And I think there's a lot of stuff we could learn from watching them and just appreciate what a high level these players are playing at. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start with Trippy's POV here. So let's take a look at the starting strat on Eagle's side from Optic. In my opinion, the best qualities of an open strategy in this game are ones that fill the most possible sight lines, because you really need to get an idea what the other team is going for off the start. So you want to have probably at least one person big door, probably at least one person that goes sandbags, probably at least one person that goes to the right side of the map, just to ensure that we've got vision on all three of the primary lanes. We also need to be sending resources at the sniper rifle for sure, because that's the best item in the game that spawns off the start. So we need to pressure the sniper rifle. And then we also want to probably cap B. So in Strongholds, B is one of the most important ones to hold, especially when camo's about to come up, because it's on the opposite side of the map. So if you already have control of B while your team and the other team are fighting for camo, that ensures that you'll probably be scoring during that fight. So I think a lot of these pro teams will elect to try to grab B as the most important stronghold during the time that the camo is coming up. So let's take a look at what they do. It looks like Trippy is going to be going to the big door. Looks like he's got two players going big door. So I think that Optic probably expects SSG to fight for B heavy. We can already tell that both teams are really trying to fight for B control for the same reason that I just said. They want to make sure that they are the ones that control B before the camo spawns. So both teams are going to fight heavily for it. We see Dead Zone going sandbags. Trippy's going, or Formal looks like he's going probably bottom mid. He's going to try to grab the repulse. I would imagine he might repulse for the sniper, or he might go pillar door to help the fight at B. We'll see. Okay, so Dead Zone, look at this. Perfectly using all four grenades. Let's look at all the grenades that Dead Zone throws here. So whoever goes sandbags really should be thinking about it. He's going to nade twice at the tires, is what a lot of pros call that spot right there, in case anyone on SSG rushes it right away. Then he's going to grab these other two grenades, throws another one top mid in case anybody is rushing the sniper quickly. Probably here's a call out for this player at B, and he's going to use the last of the four grenades to help Trippy with his fight with his grenades. So very efficient use of grenades here. He then slides out to check to see if anyone on SSG went for the sniper quickly. Didn't see anybody. Here's the repulse though. Also probably got a call out from Formal. What happened to Formal here? We'll have to go back and check. But here's the repulse. And then he's going to chow this guy top mid. It's Stellar, of course. Stellar hits a disgusting no-scope like he always does, I feel like. Wow. But man, we can analyze every single thing that happens at the beginning here. There's so much that happens at fast pace. And when I'm casting live, there's so much context that's going through my mind. I try to pick out the ones that like matter the most and maybe highlight plays that people didn't notice. But in reality, like going back and watching this in theater, we can see so much more context of what's been going on. Goes bottom mid. Okay, he gets comboed by Stellar. Wow, look at this. I know there's a lot of pausing early. I promise it's not going to be every single play like this, but it's fun to look at the context here. So Stellar actually uses the combo to kill Formal, repulses up, grabs the sniper, and then pushes up and no-scopes Dead Zone. So Stellar with the play of the game already. Part of the map fast enough. Okay. So now he knows his opponent are capping B side. He's going to see, he knows that he might be able to get a snipe. He saw the reflection of the spawn right here as well, by the way. Sometimes when your Spartan spawns, it like glows. There's a glowing effect off of the walls. So I think he sees it right here. This player's going to spawn on the training side. In just a yeah, okay, you see that glow? There's a slight this he can't see the player at all, but he can see the glowing right here of the Spartan. So that's how he knows that a player spawned there. And then he adjusts his reticle to try to snipe that guy, predicts which routes he might take. Most of the time he's going to go up the nest, but this player is smart. He knows that there's a player top tower watching this. This is Dead Zone. Dead Zone knows that Stellar is zoomed in on him, so he's purposefully isolating this angle. Also, he doesn't really have any reason to go anywhere but stay on the B side. He's just here to protect B. His team already has A. His teammates are dying. Best thing he can do is just ensure. Also, you see how he pre-aimed to the spot on the tower that he expects the sniper to be. He was ready to shoot him out of scope, make the snipe a little bit more difficult. Oh my God, Stellar. It's another disgusting shot already. So he body shots Formal. Goes here. Takes 2 shots from Dead Zone, hits the quick scope. I mean, there's a reason that I've said this is the best sniper in Halo Infinite. Like, in high pressure moments like this, he is more often than not hitting that shot. That's completely disgusting. Look at this. He tries to hit another quick scope. Has to rotate through. Sees his teammates are in A. Also sees the repulse is up. You have to wonder if they're timing the repulse, because I'm sure the repulse actually just respawned. Just based on the timer in the game. It's only been up for maybe 7 seconds at most. Wow, immediately finds a target. That's right, now I remember this. Okay, I remember casting this and I commented on the fact that Dead Zone has not been allowed to play the game. This killing spree might be all on Dead Zone. We're just gonna go back and check who it was he killed. Yeah, so this kill, definitely Dead Zone. And then he snipes Dead Zone again on the B side. After he rotates through. Okay, yeah. So that was Dead Zone again that he snipes. Tries to get another snipe. He's finally out of snipe ammo. And now he's really just holding parts of the map that make it difficult for Optic to get comfortable. This is a very smart rotation as well. And all of a sudden, finally SSG are rolling. You would have to think that just watching Stellar screen only, it feels like they should have a lot more control than they do, but Optic has played a very smart, controlled style where they're just protecting what strongholds they have. Let's take a look at how Formal got here. I think Formal spawned at the OS. He knows that Stellar's in here because his teammate just called him out. His teammate is calling that he went rat tunnel. That's why he's pre-nading this doorway. In case he continued to run that way, he might run into that grenade. Formal sees him, but he doesn't get first shot, so he actually elects to back up here. And he waits for Trippy to show up, and it's a good thing he did. It's an example of like not over-challing a 50-50 situation. It was actually not a 50-50. It was heavily in Stellar's favor. So Formal having that awareness to back up, wait for Trippy to show up. It's going to make sure they cap A. After they cap A, then they can decide what to do from here. Now, meanwhile, Dead Zone is wrapping through bottom mid. Lucid's at the tower. See if he... Yeah, Lucid must have spawned at the tower because he's dead right here. Dead Zone off of his spawn, comes over in this direction because they're all focused on capping A. They're not trying to do too much crazy multitasking. They're in a trip cap right now. So they have to cap something, or Optic's just going to run, or SSG is just going to run away with a massive lead. So they all work together, guarantee that they cap A. Then Lucid spawns tower. So that gives information to Optic about where the rest of SSG are. And Lucid doesn't step into C right away because he recognizes this spawn point is probably unexpected. So he's not going to give away his location. This is actually really smart. He's going to wait until maybe his teammates get some kills or he gets a little bit more information about where his opponents are. And then finally starts capping C when it makes sense to do so. He's kind of looking in the wrong direction here. And SSG, as soon as this started being capped, you look at the collapse from SSG. As soon as he steps foot in it, Eco comes flying across top mid. Behind him, Bound is sandbag. Stellar is going to wrap up to Nest. Don't even give Optic a chance to cap this. The collapse just comes in instantly from multiple angles. It's always what makes a good push in this game. All right, Legend trying to operate on the other side of the map. He's going to cap A. They just killed 3 on Optic, so they're trying to force the next set of spawns to the turbine, okay? On this game type, if you have a trip cap, the best place for the enemy to spawn is at turbine because it's the furthest from all the cap points and it's so exposed. If you just have like sandbags or small window control and you have another teammate that's at tower or dummies, you can get cross shots on these spawners very easily. So Stellar's positioning is really important here. So Stellar purposefully moves back B to force the spawn far away from B. Like you see the collapse here? I'm actually going to turn the volume down just a little bit. So after this play, watch what Stellar does. He's going to hit this curb slide to launch himself as fast to this side of the map as possible, simply to force the next set of spawns to the overshield. That's the only reason he goes here, but it's a massive reason to do it, right? Because he knows that if they give Optic a free B spawn, then Optic will know what to do with that. So instead, he forces them to the worst part of the map by going to B as quickly as possible. And all Legend has to do is hold his positioning in A to block that spawn. Bound was trying to block the spawn on the tower side when this player, who is this here? Eco. When Eco spawns here at the training, they know they successfully moved those spawns to the other side, and that's why Eco spawned here. So now Eco's going to rotate towards the tower, because he knows that when Optic spawns on that side, they only have a few options, right? They're either going to go to A or they're going to go to C. So he wants to hold off and pressure the side over here. And he's going to hit the jump. Look at the quickness on the jump. He's definitely practiced that, right? Jumps up here to try to stop the cap. I think his goal here was to just get a melee on this player if he knew he was here, but he dies too quickly to get the melee. But this positioning, I think this is Stellar once again. No, who's this on? Oh, this is Bound. So Bound rotate or spawned here and immediately walks up to help this fight. You see how they're just multitasking and forcing every set of spawn to the turbine throughout this entire situation? But yeah, look at this. They're just standing still. Whenever there's enemies of Optic dead, they are just waiting for them to spawn. They're not moving. Legend doesn't have any reason to move here. He's in a good spot to wait for his teammates and team shoot. They're forcing them to spawn A. Right now, Optic already has control of A, so they don't have any reason to do anything else. These nades, by the way, I think are from Trippy. I remember watching this live. We were on Trippy's POV. Look at the way these nades bounce off the wall. He's predicting that that's what Legend is doing, or maybe they saw him. So he throws these grenades at Legend, which are very good. Legend sees the opening, gets some good damage, and somehow destroys Formal here. Starts this fight, half shields, crouches in the corner, then jumps, goes for the melee. Part of the reason why Legend got picked up and he's such a scary player to play against. He can just find double kills that he has no business getting. And look at this, Eco. There's no one over here, but he just quickly routes this way while Optic are spawning just to move the spawns back into A. If he pushes with Bound right here, then Optic probably spawn at B. That's not what they want. So they're constantly rotating back to B. That's kind of like the pivot stronghold, right? It's so important to have B because the two strongest setups on this game type are AB and BC. They both involve B. So for that reason, both teams are highly incentivized to ensure the other team doesn't spawn at B and cap it for free. So you'll often see both teams, if they have B control, while the opponents are dead, they backtrack and block the spawn. It's a constant thing. Right here, Eco, just kind of posturing on this side. Perfect grenades from Optic to take him down, but his goal was really just to stop them from capping C. Legend also takes heavy grenade damage, drops down. Actually, instead of doing the jump, does a curb slide here. All right, so Optic finally get control here. Let's see what they did. We saw some great nades from them. Trippy's gonna cross. Look at the quickness here. He's gonna try to hold the trip cap by stopping them from capping C. Throws a grenade that bounces off that pillar, because that spot right there is a common spot people sit while they try to cap. This trade is going to allow Dead Zone to try to cap it now. Now, while he caps this, Lucid sees that SSG are capping A, so he's going to cross here, but I don't think he's going to full commit. He's just going to apply some pressure to hold them back in A. Instead, he sees that B is being capped and he is prioritizing B side because, like I said, B is that pivot stronghold. So yes, they're about to finish capping A, but it's actually more important that he protects B in this moment. Sees the grenades that bound through, so he actually sidesteps to the side to try to block it. Love this quick curb slide off of sandbags. This is higher level awareness right here from Lucid. So in his mind, he knows, well, also the score is telling him that they just finished capping A, right? So if they just finished capping A and Bound is calling out Lucid, there's got to be a player going sandbags on SSG, right? Because they're going to try to kill him. So they're going to play for this camo. Lucid, though, says that's yours, Zane, or Dead Zone. And he's actually going to play in front of the camo and apply pressure so that Dead Zone can pick up the camo more easily. No, they actually both move forward. So maybe they decide it's still 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a long time for camo to come up. So I think they recognize like they just need to play in front of the camo and go for C, and they can always backtrack for the camo afterwards. So they both come here. One goes up the cuts, one goes up the ramp on the right. This is always a better push than both of them going cuts or both of them going ramp, because now they can hit the same sight line from multiple angles. It's gonna make this push a lot more powerful. They push him off, and that's going to make it easy for them to cap C. They force that guy out. Now, Dead Zone, he did his job at C, so now he's going to turn around and help Formal get the camo. He's going to do that by pressuring the sandbags. Formal says he got it, so there's no reason for him to help on that side anymore. He just kind of walked that way to help out. It looks like SSG were able to get a trip cap despite all that. So let's take another look at this. So Lucid and Dead Zone force that guy off. And then instead of capping C, Lucid actually tries to make sure that guy dies, and Dead Zone doesn't cap C. So I kind of feel like this was a small mistake by Dead Zone. Maybe he should have capped C, but maybe he's prioritizing to shoot the next players in A. And then they rotate over here, and now they've lost B control, and they still haven't capped C. So I kind of feel like Dead Zone could have capped C a while ago. All right, they did a lot of extra stuff to secure the camo. What's up, CC? What's up, Cran? And after they cap C, they are definitely going to prioritize B. Like I said, most pro teams think this is the most important stronghold for good reason. And now they're flipping all three zones. Trippy, though, is going to die in A. They're kind of setting up this situation pretty far in advance, right? Like I said, they want to force SSG to spawn by the turbine. They had to secure the camo first. They want to give Formal a chance to put the camo to work. It's actually more important for Formal to just hold his position than it is for him to like push in and make a camo play.
Bravo is ours.
Your team scoring.
But the vast majority of the plays they're making and the moves they make are specifically to influence spawns. Formal catches Legend off guard, stops the cap. Instead of going for the reset, he just preserves his life and rotates.
Enemy team scoring.
And let's take a look at SSG for a little bit. So we're switching. So now it's SSG that's blue and Optic is green. All right, so they've got BC, so their goal is probably to protect BC as much as possible here. They see Optic is heavily attacking B side. We've got a teammate who is the Sandbags Stellar. He's going to try to fight this guy Sandbags and then also attack the B side. Stop Optic from capping it, but Optic did a great job of dealing a lot of damage here. Shut the push down. Now, Legend is kind of playing insurance here. So he caps A while they lose B as just an extra form of maintaining scoring lead. With the sniper up, I expect both teams to try to position for it. Legend actually going to rotate pillars. Here's that C is being capped. Doesn't do anything about it. I think he recognizes that his team is down in numbers here, so he's just going to stay alive. It's a 3v4 right now. And he's smart enough to understand that if he was to try to stop C, he would just die for free. He's going to wait and buy some time for his teammates. Takes a slightly longer route to get into a different position. I'm surprised they didn't hear his footsteps here. He just ran right under them.
Enemy team score.
Finds a target running away. Legend being a part of 2 big kills here. Just playing his life very effectively. And wow. SSG flipped a situation that was in Optic's favor and actually came out on top. So let's study it even further here. This is when Legend first showed up. Stellar and Bound just playing on the other side. Stellar actually gets no-scoped. And then Bound and Legend continue the fight. And Eco is on his way. So Eco knows that his teammates need his help. So he spawns up and runs as fast as he can up to Cuts just to make sure that he can finish this fight. He actually checks top mid instead of fighting directly right away because he needs to get the information of if Optic are pushing in from sandbags or not. Positions himself so that the guy Nest can't see him. Knows that all 3 are dead. So now he's going to fly to Cap B as quickly as possible because he wants all of Optic to spawn in the back of A or on the turbine. All right, so let's take a look at what Optic does off of spawn here. This is always so important to me, is how do you behave when you lose control and you're the first spawner? This is a very important thing. So Dead Zone actually was the first spawner. So he spawns by the screens and tries to get into A as quickly as possible. Based on communication and just being a part of the last fight, he knows that most of SSG are at the C side. And he also knows that more often than not, if the other team cap C, they're probably gonna go to B next. So while you're here, you might as well just cap A and then figure out what to do afterwards. So first spawner just goes and starts capping A. He actually doesn't finish the cap because he actually sees a timing, maybe with his next teammate, to go apply pressure to the B side. So this is interesting. I feel like most people would just sit in cap A, but he plays past it because he wants to apply pressure to B while his teammates come off spawn. And he also trusts that one of his teammates will finish capping A at some point. So he's actually going to just play hyper aggressive in B. And I guess his thought process here is like, I'm just going to force them to deal with me while my teammates can cap A and C on the other side. So Trippy, while Zane or Dead Zone is causing this distraction, Trippy's going to go and finish capping A. And at the same time, Lucid, let's go back 5 seconds. Lucid is going to C. And I think Lucid knows that this guy is here tower. You see how Lucid is purposefully avoiding stepping in the stronghold because he doesn't want to give this sniper the information of where he is. Throws a perfect grenade on Legend. And he's sitting in a sneaky spot. Also knows his teammate, Formal, is on the way. Gets the melee on that player so Formal can finish that player off. And all of a sudden, they get a few kills because Dead Zone kind of threw his life away on the B side. It looks like a quote-unquote noob play, but there's a method to the madness. He is buying time and space for his teammates to accomplish other things on the map just by being a nuisance to SSG. Trippy's able to cap A. Lucid, if he can win this fight, is able to cap C. Formal, if he could win this fight, is able to cap C. You could actually argue that Formal didn't need to chow this fully. Could have maybe crouched behind the box. Made this kill a little bit more difficult, but this is a massive kill by Eco. Massive shots. They both die at basically the same time. But that means that SSG stop Optic from being in a trip cap for the next play. So now, Lucid coming off spawn wants to try to finish off C. He's pre-nading the ramp in case there's anyone on SSG that spawned dummy side. He just wants to make sure, gives himself a slight advantage. But overall, I really love the process by Optic. Like this whole sequence kind of shows that at the highest level of Halo, if you're fast and shooting your gun and being a part of all the plays, like sometimes the damage that you start or like the cap that you start it's for the purpose of ultimately being followed up later. Optic come off spawn and they started setting this up so long ago. This all started with Dead Zone being the first spawner in A, or when he spawned here at the, like, Optic started, this is how they play off their back foot. I'm going to start A and then I'm going to attack B. On the other side, Lucid is going to start C, or like try to kill the players on tower. They go through this whole sequence that we already watched. even though Formal dies, at the end of it all, they're back in scoring position and SSG is spawning in A, which is exactly the conditions that they want. And they set it up so long ago. So really impressive stuff from Optic here to flip this situation entirely. So let's see what Dead Zone does off of his next spawn. Now he's predicting that SSG spawned at Turbine and would rotate to A. So he's going to once again try to cause chaos over here. Waits for his shields and then jumps up. SSG do a phenomenal job. I remember this. Bound flying like a madman. Let's watch Bound's POV here. So Dead Zone's grenade actually hit Legend and Bound very hard. They're just waiting, and then Bound hits the curb slide to kill this opponent, shoots the next one, and then jumps away. He's gonna hit the curb slide off of that little railing just to guarantee if he gets chased, he's out of the sight line. At the same time, now the team is posturing that they want to push to C because this is probably an easier push than going to B right now. Because they know that Optic likely have nest control. They've probably got some that they know that player is just waiting big door. So it's going to be a bit easier for them to posture on the C side. Now, I think Optic should read this movement and probably shift their positioning a little bit to counter that play. So let's see, who's this player back green? I'm curious to see what Trippy does here. Trippy just going to stay here, finds this cheeky sight line. I feel like I'd never use this angle, but this is a really smart angle to shoot from in this moment. Almost kills Legend from that angle. And wow, dude, Trippy just outplays Bound so hard right here. Think about this from SSG's perspective for a second. After they cap A, they only have a few options, right? They've got to play out of sandbags, big door. They've got to fight for C. Optic are kind of predicting it. I think, oh, look at this too, though. Formal spots the player big door right now and shoots him. Yeah, he spots Bound big door. So he calls him out. And after hearing the call out, Trippy, that's when Trippy decides to position himself right here because he knows that player's going to show up. After calling him out, Formal is still watching it, I think. Yeah, Formal says he's coming out now. He's coming out now. And then Trippy gets a back smack. Great stuff here. That just really nullifies the rest of the SSG push because they were really counting on Bound to make that entry into B. Okay, you could tell that Trippy wanted to go in cap A, but he's probably hearing comms that like the last player alive is still on the mud side, so he actually rotates back to try to help Dead Zone win this fight. Once again, every single time, you've noticed that no matter which team is in control, their entire goal is to force the spawn to Turbine or A every single time. BC is just by far and away the best setup. If you have the trip cap, you really want them to spawn Turbine. We're seeing that over and over. But now that Trippy died, the B spawn is actually open. Optic are going to know that. Let's see if they elect to rotate back to B after they get a couple of kills here. Okay. They see the timing for the pinch and camo's coming up. So it does make sense for them to fight on this side right now. Nice. So they actually get 4 dead right now, which means they have free reign to do whatever they want. So they're going to go for the trip cap. Probably know that they're going to spawn the opponent on the training and mud side. Formal's going to grab the new camo. And he's actually just going to start walking towards C to force the spawn a little bit further away and be ready to apply pressure on this side. Yeah, they predicted this spawn. Immediately apply pressure. Formal's going to let his camo reproc. Chase this player down. He's not going to give away his location just yet.
Quantum translocator available.
Like the way Formal's playing with his camo. You see how he's playing like pretty far in the open while he's camo to make sure he can see the fight. He can be a part of it a bit more. And once again, they just made sure they had BC and they spawned him back in A again. Now, as they cap A, they're going to move forward. I think they moved fast enough that they might force a split spawn here. That player back green is going to spawn out. They know about it. They're already probably thinking about this next spawner that just spawned tower. But let's look at this collapse again, though. So all of the movement while SSG were dead. Let's go back a little bit. All of this, Lucid is pinching from A, Formal's pinching from tower. Collapse comes in. They just play through the process.
Quantum translocator.
Trippy is worried about the tower guy while the rest of the team collapses on B. They collapse on B and steal it. All the while, Trippy maintains his positioning on the tower because he is just making the spawns more predictable by holding that space. As soon as the spawns are up, they leave position.
Bravo.
And then they collapse. Big door, sandbags, and screens all at the same time. You see how they're all hitting at the same time from different angles. Where could SSG possibly get out of this situation? The collapse is perfect. Now they know this player escaped. They're probably going to go out big door here shortly, I would guess. Yep, there we go. Now they're going to hold off pressure from C to B. They're just constantly flowing and predicting their opponent's next move. Formal knows the pressure is coming in. He's just going to stand and B.
Charlie.
Formal eats a lot of grenade damage. Tries to just do as much damage as he could before he died there. That makes sense. Let's back up just a little bit, see what Dead Zone's been up to. Helping Trippy fight this guy back green. They do kill that player. Dead Zone positioning himself very wisely here to try to help this fight as much as possible, but also maintain his life. Doesn't predict this player pushing in. Stellar gets a great kill to take him down. On the other side of the map, Lucid was fighting tower. Sees his teammate spawn by camo side. He's really just trying to win this fight. It's actually a massive fight to win that ensures he got at least a second right there. And this player, Stellar, just flanking their push, predicting this. Let's go back here a little bit. So Stellar caps A. They're getting comms about these players bottom mid, so he's going to wrap through and try to kill them before they kill Legends. This is great play by Stellar here. So also ends up with the sniper. Gets the trade on Dead Zone. Trippy probably expects that SSG will continue going for C. He's going to go try to reset it. Or sorry, he wants to finish capping C, but he's a little bit early. Looks like Formal is trying to show up in time to help the fight. Throws a perfect grenade at that spawner on dummies.
In a hail of gunfire.
Great grenade placement there. Moves forward. You see how they don't just sit in the zone and fight from the zone? They still try to play in a way that gives themselves the best chance to win the fight, because winning the fight is how they're gonna cap C. So it's not like he's gonna stay in C and risk dying to cap it. He's just gonna play in the whatever way he thinks will best increase his chance to win the fight. We'll have to see if they do ultimately win this game or not. I actually forgot which team won this. It was a 250 to 249 finish. I don't even remember which team actually won it. Don't spoil it in chat, guys. Let's see if this pays off. So SSG decide that one of their win conditions is to earn this camo and then play from there. Penguin's trying to slow it down. Or Dead Zone, sorry. I keep calling him that. He did enough damage, and then the rest of Optic actually do come in and fight for the camo. They decide that this camo is too important to not fight for it. Lucid tries to use the dummy. Formal, the last guy, is going to finish the kill. And he's going to be the one that finally gets the camo, I think. Or no, maybe camo was already burned. Sorry, I missed that. Let's see. Okay, looks like Eco grabbed it, died. Does it disappear? Hold on. Is it glitched in here? I think it glitched inside the turbine. Holy shit. Yeah, because he definitely picks it up right here. He's got it in his pocket. And then it fell through the opening of the slot. So Formal, the last guy, jumps here.
There's more.
And I guess maybe they recognized that it went inside the turbine there. I mean, that camo going into the turbine definitely part of the script, right? Like it had to be as close as possible. And the only way to make it more exciting would be to glitch the camo right now, right? The game is ending. Formal's still alive. Finds a double. How does Formal get a double here? The melee. This Spike finishes that kill. Massive. Bound. Keeping his life, playing top tower. Teammates are trying to cap A. It looks like Bound is just going to rotate to B and stop Optic from getting to B. So this is a heads up play by Bound. Instead of crossing top middle and trying to pressure A directly, he said, B is free. I'm just going to go cap B instead. Because he knows that Optic are going to play for B next after they cap A. Looks like Optic, Lucid, is here at Sandbags. Has to take a 1v1. Huge 1v1 fight win against Stellar in this moment. The ice to just ice up and hit these shots is amazing. Perfect shots. To shut it down Stellar right there gives himself a chance to stay in this game. Legend playing back B to just play spoiler here. Playing it away to stay alive. Oh my god, he went for the slide off reach-out just to try to give himself even better chance of staying alive. Does a lot of damage before dying. Let's see if Eco can capitalize. He has to win this fight first. He's not going to be able to capitalize on the damage because he's one shot and has to cap C. So what did... Oh man, how does SSG get back into scoring position here? Jumps in. This is at 249. But they have to win this fight. Because Optic can just rotate and take C. Look at the positioning here. Legend is one shot at Nest. Let's watch what happens. Legend comes off spawn. Knows that his team has to cap B if they're going to stay in this game and win it. But he also doesn't want to give Optic the chance to steal C. So he's going to play this pivot position. So he can watch both. Sees this player cross top mid. He's calling out he's one shot. Eco with the massive win at Sandbags now has the freedom to rotate and stop this player at C. Stops that. Rotates around. Just trying to find a unique angle to help his team win the fight. They do ultimately cap B. And now Optic are in a really tough spot. I mean, they have to get into one or the other, and I think this is how it ends, right? Dude, this whole play, though, was amazing by SSG. Just watching it again, they're in such a bad position. Optic need literally 3 seconds at this point. Stellar gets in the stronghold during the final second. Eco sees how this play has to work. He has to apply immediate pressure to Sandbags if his team are going to cap this. He's checking back green first. Doesn't see anyone. Waits till he hears shots or a call out and then pushes, kills Formal. Here's the other call outs to the guy in C. Crosses top mid, finishes Lucid. Wraps this way to see if there's anyone else he can shoot at. Calls out this guy, Jail. Jail is in front of Rat Tunnel. And now he knows that Optic's only plays are to go to C or B. Legend survived that situation, and he's continuing to watch both B and C. Pre-nades the big door. Perfectly pre-naded. And Formal is just a second too late getting into C. What an insane game. So SSG take it 250 to 249 in one of the most exciting games that we've seen. But man, both teams played it so well. Every single time that one team was in control, they went for the BC setup and tried to spawn the other team either in back A or at Turbine. I think SSG had the trip cap early on and was forcing Optic to spawn on the dummy side. Both teams went on impressive runs, but they're just constantly allocating resources around the different parts of the map. I can't think of a more exciting Strongholds game in recent memory. So hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Last weekend was some of the best Halo we've literally ever seen. There was some crazy upsets, Complexity upsetting FaZe finishing in the top 6 after also losing to, I think it was SSG. SSG making a run to win the whole tournament. Or no, sorry, FaZe lost to Optic. Optic 3-0'd FaZe to knock him out. Points are insane right now. Monster has a ton of points. Who knows what roster he's going to be on, but this weekend is going to be even more insane. This next weekend is going to be the most important one because it's going to determine who qualifies to play for pool play going into Arlington. And I think that all the players are going to be playing with a ton of fire. So definitely don't miss the action next weekend. I'll also be casting it once again. So hopefully you guys enjoy my live commentary, and I'm always live on Twitch as well. So tune in to twitch.tv/Eli the Ninja if you want more live commentary, and I'll see you guys next time. Are you interested to take your game to the next level? If so, hit me up at medify.gg/@Eli the Ninja. I offer many forms of coaching, both individual and for teams. I can also just do some game time with you if you just like to play with me. All the options and my availability can be found at medify.gg/@Eli the Ninja. If you're interested in more coaching video content, I also have a Patreon where you can check out any of the films that I've uploaded where I have coached other students already. You can start that at just $6 a month. I have all of the sessions that I've done live on stream at that tier. But if you pay a little bit higher for the other tiers, you can have access to some very high level gameplay analysis at the pro level and in high Onyx.